Okay, this is a recording of a game I played in about mid-tier Masters. Illaoi with Stormraiders against Garen with Conqueror. Just going to explain my rune setup a little bit. I can't get the runes up on the screen, but basically Stormraiders, Mana Flow banned. So Mana Flow is pretty much the main Stormraiders mana generating rune. And then Absolute Focus, which you want to take in this lane because you're going to spend a lot of the lane full HP just hitting Garen over and over again. You might as well take Absolute Focus, which improves your damage when you're above 70% HP. And then I take Gathering Storm because I like scaling, but Scorch is perfectly fine in this lane. Actually, honestly, for the lane, it's much better, but I don't need it. And for the secondary tree, I take Cut Down, which is probably the strongest rune against Garen, because Garen spends a lot of the lane building up to about 70 or 80% HP, coming back, getting chunked out, coming back over and over again. Cut Down basically abuses that because he's trying to stay at a high level of HP a lot of the time. He basically abuses his method of laning. And in general, Last Stand is pretty weak into Garen, which is the alternative. Because if you take Last Stand, Garen will just ult you when you get to the threshold. Or to the maximum threshold anyway. You will already be dead by the time you're getting the maximum value of Last Stand, basically. And that is kind of true all game. As long as you're anywhere near Garen, and Garen is potentially going to kill you with his ult, Last Stand is getting very little value, whereas Cut Down will get value the entire game on every champion. I think Cut Down is just generally stronger than Last Stand, but especially stronger in this lane. Okay. I'm just defending my Tentacle level 1. I can pretty much always get an even trade, even without Grasp. But it is worth noting that Grasp would be pretty strong at defending Tentacles, so he probably wouldn't go in for this if I had Grasp. Okay. This is bad from me, but this is probably the worst thing I do in the lane. Just taking a free trade for 1 minion. Normally what I would do is just sit in EXP range. I do this on a lot of lanes, just sit in EXP range. Here I take, I don't know, 200 HP in exchange for 1 minion. It's not a good trade. Don't do this. A theme you're gonna notice in this lane is he's gonna struggle because I already have this setup, and even when he clears it, I'm gonna respawn it over and over again. This setup is the Goldilocks zone where you can kill Garen, or like cause problems for Garen, where he's constantly getting chunked. So this is the zone you want to be setting up. If you're a Garen player here with Ignite, you're looking always for the threshold where you can just flash Q and E me to death. And I won't be able to respond, I won't even be able to flash because of Garen's Q. So that's what he's looking for, I know that's what he's looking for the whole time. So I'm always cognizant of that. I'm trying to keep myself ahead in levels, I'm trying to sustain off the minions a bit. Okay, this is quite an important E in the lane. And the reason why this happens is just because Garen wants the cannon, and he's unsure whether to go into auto because he knows the second he autos he's gonna E. So he basically does the worst thing, which is open himself up for an E, but also he misses the cannon. So not great play from him, but either way I think the lane state would be fine, even if I missed. And I'm just freezing, I'm not pushing. And this is how you play against Garen. If you've ever seen a Dirty Mobs VOD, then you know that this is what you're supposed to do. He's basically just getting juiced here. He's taking bad trades, he's probably missing EXP, and he's missing minions. And luckily my jungler's pathing top, which is pretty important. We're always looking to try and get his passive if we can. Like, we don't have to go too aggro for it, but we don't want him to regen too much HP. So as you can see, he's getting his passive. So we're looking, hey, if he goes for this creep, we're trying to Q him or we're trying to W him. Just get anything on him, basically. And we have such a big HP lead as well that it makes sense to trade with him as well. Yeah, my jungler's looking to dive, so I'm cognizant of that. It's okay that I missed the E, I have enough mana to damage him. Another thing I'll mention is Ignite. Taking Ignite in Garen lanes makes it very, very hard for him to play. I mean, especially in this situation where the wave's just going to go straight into his turret and he's just going to miss minions, but... Ignite... Garen won't take TP, he will always take Ignite. And Ignite, normally for him, makes trades feasible, but not if you take Ignite. And a lot of Illaoi players take Exhaust into Garen, but that's a big mistake. You should probably always take Ignite. The benefits of Exhaust are like, it makes it easier to hit E, and also his base damage will be lower, but you can't take Exhaust into all of the horrible shit that he can do to you later on. That's not going to do anything. So I think Ignite is much stronger. You just want to get a massive lead and make it so that you're too big to fail, basically. And Ignite does that job much better. You see, he just had no counterplay there, whereas if I'd taken TP, he would have counterplay. And Exhaust would have done nothing there. Completely useless in this situation. I'm just going to speed it up because I'm just coming back to lane. Yep. Another thing is, I'm going for, what's it called? Sundered Sky, that's it. Yeah, I'm going for Sundered Sky because it tops your HP up no matter what when you're in the lane. Keeps your HP topped up, and it synergizes really well with Stormraiders. So when I'm going Stormraiders, most of the time I'm going Sundered Sky. Not every game, but yeah. And Garen isn't very tanky yet. He does get tanky later on, but Black Cleaver's value against Garen is it's debatable, honestly. Whether it has much value early game or early to mid game. As you can see, these trades are pretty rough. I mean, I hit him with a couple of tentacles, and he's already getting chunked really, really hard. This is just the value of my runes. I just have way more AD than a normal Illaoi would have. Obviously, I'm going D-Blade, I have Coalfields, but I just have extra AD in this situation, so I'm just doing more damage. And he probably isn't expecting me to do this much damage, but... And obviously Cut Down is helping a lot. And I'm just trying to get 6. 6 basically insulates me against their ganks until they are also both 6. So the second I get 6, I'm pretty safer. You can see I'm just constantly trying to get whatever trade I can, get a Q on him or whatever. Yeah, this is really hard for him to play. And what I do here is interesting. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die to this guy. I don't really have CDs, I don't have Ignite. I have not much set up to fight back against him. So I do what you should do as a top laner, which is in this situation, which is just try and take the wave. I actually do get a decent amount of damage back on him, I think because he messes up a bit, but... Yeah, even if I hit that E, I'm not killing him here. Just don't have the damage. Possibly. I don't think I would anyway. I mean, with these runes, Illaoi can get some very janky kills. I have killed in some similar situations before, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have got it there. This is important. When you're building Sundered Sky, you want to get all the longswords. You just want to get all the longswords. This holds true in all the lanes. If you build it against Jace, even, you want to just get the longswords. They're the most valuable items in the thing. You don't really want to get Tunneler straight away either. Like, this is one of the things that makes Sundered Sky, I think, in my opinion, a bit better than Black Cleaver, is that the build path for Black Cleaver just doesn't have as many longswords, basically. Yeah, he really messes up here. He sort of half commits to fighting me and half doesn't. I think if he was committed to fighting me, he would have ignited and not tried to run away so much. It's his mistake. It's just unfortunate on his part. Obviously, I'll probably still kill him anyway, but maybe he can go 1-for-1 or something. Pushing out straight away. I'm just gonna fast forward this. All I'm doing is pushing out and backing. Get my tunneler. Come back to lane. There's no lane phase going on. Okay, so this is the one thing that I was annoyed about after the game. I think it happens here. I tell my jungler to leave because Garen is rotating, so there's probably some shenanigan going on. At least the Neferi will be here. I didn't know it was a 4-man. But I basically told him, don't do this. Don't fight anything here, but he just ignored me. My bad. Well, it's like his bad, not my bad. I think I see that Garen uses ult as well, so I use that information. It's always good to keep track of Garen ult in this lane. It's his most important resource. He has Ignite and his ult, and these are the ways that he tries to get back into the lane if he's really behind. As you can see, this is just completely one-sided though. There was no point in this lane where it looked even close. Probably like the level 1 was the last time it looked close. Yeah, this is just the setup. It's just very strong into Garen. What can I say? I'm not even playing it that well. Like, I made a mistake at level 1 and it didn't really matter that much. Yeah, that was a bad E, but I'm basically just looking not to die here. So I hit quite a timid E. I threw quite a timid E. This is fine. I don't have Ignite here, but I'm just ungodly stronger than him. So what I'm gonna do here is this is what all players do in high elo. I don't think anyone really does it in low elo. But if I come in behind him like this, they always just run around forever. And then once they realize that I'm just not playing ball and not throwing my E, because he's basically just trying to dodge my E and I'm just trying to get free damage on him, they will run back, and that's when you throw your E. Basically, this is getting in his head. This is player psychology. It's not really mechanics or anything, I wouldn't say. Obviously, this kind of situation only happens if you're significantly ahead, though, where you're trying to cut him off and fuck with him. I'm kind of looking for a dive here. I think the problem I'm having here is, and the reason why I'm throwing these bad E's and not doing better trades, is because I'm a bit suspicious about where everyone is on the map. I'm not sure where everyone is. And as a result, I'm not running in and trying to get my E on him and killing him, which is what I would normally do. And obviously in this situation, it would have been probably a bit too much to try and do that because the Janna happened to be here. But I'm not sure. That's the thing. It could be someone else on the map coming in. I just thought that probably someone would be here. This is just a spidey sense. See, in the game, I didn't know that the Janna was there. But when I think about it, like, anyone could have been there, in theory. Yeah, these absolutely destroy him. He's just very, very far behind. And here I'm, like, waiting for my CDs so I can kill him. Or, okay, never mind, I just get a trade on him. That's next. As you can see, the lane is just it's just unbearable for him. He's got nothing to do. He's completely outranged, and I do more damage than him in the all-in. And I'm 2 levels ahead of him at this point, but yeah. This is a bit of a useless E, but that's fine. I'm really just looking to get the gold, get my reset. My team is winning as well, which is nice. I'm a bit so trying to actually kill him would be difficult. I don't think I would get enough abilities to kill him. Okay, let's speed up. Yeah, this is quite interesting. In the game, I thought he was running to try and proxy, because he has no way to lane against me. So when I saw that he was running, I was like, oh, he's running to proxy. So I go and guard my wave, but I didn't know that he actually did run to proxy. So now I can see that he did, and he was just cut off, and he couldn't get it. This doesn't happen in low elo, but in high elo, champions like Garen and Gragas will look for proxy angles, especially when they're behind. I've definitely fallen victim to a proxy that I can't break in the past. Yep. Obviously we're going to get more plates here. It's just very easy to get plates because the Garen is constantly having to reset. You see, I miss my E, but my trades are still horrible, even with just Q. I think this is, yeah, it's a Q max game, so this game I was maxing Q. But I think E max is probably okay in this lane too. Honestly, might be better, I'm not sure. Just trying to get him to use something. I know my team is very far ahead, so I'm not looking to try and die here, basically. I want to avoid dying. Having said that, if I hit E in a 1v2, I will probably at least kill the person I hit. Unless I'm under turret. These are situations where Stormraiders can look a bit useless. You might think, oh well, why don't you just have Conqueror or something? But there's points later in the game where you'll see why I don't. Definitely. It does look a bit silly when you're proccing it and just walking around. I find that quite funny. Yeah, I'm just looking to kill him there. Still just looking to chunk him, kill him, whatever I can get off, basically. He tries to. This is very silly from him. I have Ignite and ult. He's just never. There's no chance he would ever live there. Very silly from him. Just taking his turret. It's always nice when you have objective bounties this early in the game. I can't remember why I didn't just shove this in. I think I just misunderstood how early Garen would be back. And I didn't want to risk a situation where I suddenly got outnumbered. But it's probably, in retrospect, looking at the VOD, it's a bit of a mistake, but it's fine. Yeah, Garen doesn't have any way back into the game. I have almost 2 items and he has not completed his item. It's very difficult for him to play. Another unfortunate thing about that comp is that they don't have any CC for him. Like, if they could lock me down and ult him, but all they have is Talia. It's not very reliable CC. So a lot of the time, when my team is this far ahead as well, it's quite useful to just be watching the map at all times. And obviously, I'm watching the map here and thinking, what can I do? Is there anything I can do here? I have TP, obviously. I got my TP from my quest. And I just figured I can't do anything. That TP is not my TP. If there'd been a ward in the middle of the lane, I would have TP'd literally instantly. But I couldn't see anything. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be quite fun. This is the Stormraider's value. He just doesn't understand that I can just immediately go on top of his head. And this is what Stormraiders does. To be fair, he might have died there as well if I'd had Grasp, because he doesn't have Flash, but with Stormraiders it makes it for sure that he dies. Yeah, once I've missed E, I'm just piecing out. I think I have enough money for item here, so I just want to go, basically. Yeah, this is another important thing with Illaoi. A lot of Illaoi players, the way they play is inferior. They just overstay constantly, giving up kills. And I'm not going to name any names, but there are a lot of players like that. But Illaoi is not that kind of champion. You should be dying as little as possible, and the reason you should be dying as little as possible is because your champion has kind of a timer of how useful it is. Like, for example, if the Neferi gets my shutdown, it's going to be a very hard game. So I'm constantly thinking about avoiding that situation, and everything I do is calculated around not allowing them to have a comeback. I don't care if the Talia gets it, even the Aphelios getting it is not that bad, but we've got to avoid the Neferi getting it. Or at least if she does get it, I want to get a lot back in return. Yeah, we're very, very strong here. Just trying to get these plates. This situation's interesting, so I'm just gonna send to the camera. Okay, this is... I'll be totally honest, this is quite lucky. I randomly hit the jammer. And then I kill her randomly. So... this could have been a lot worse. But yeah, this is kind of a mistake, but the thing is, I've been trying to play around avoiding this the whole game, and like the one time that I don't play fully around avoiding it, it kind of happens instantly. I just want to avoid the situation where you get where your team isn't really pushing that hard, and their team is able to overload on topside, because I don't really want to die. I think dying is very inefficient, huh? And honestly, that was an inefficient death. I think Garen gets a lot of plates, but I'm just going to ignore that. And I still have my TP up. I'm just saving TP because my team is very far ahead, and TP just can be very useful for when the enemy team tries to make a big play to get back in the game. Having the TP is very, very helpful. Whereas TPing for tempo is more maybe a thing you would do in a game where your team is losing. Although, to be fair, most of the time I don't TP for tempo. Yeah, we're just pushing top again, just trying to get this tier 2. Yeah, this is an interesting situation. I remember this from the game, so I kind of think there might be multiple people on this bush. I don't have a ward, so I play really, really passive until I see who's there. But I was wrong here. It was just the Garen, and I couldn't fight the Garen, so yeah. Garen takes a camp, which is whatever. Oh yeah, okay. Actually, I missed this. I need to go back to this display here. So obviously, I'm watching the map, looking to see what's going on with Neferi and stuff like this. I think as soon as I see Neferi, I'm looking to TP. And then there just happens to be this lovely ward. This ward is beautiful. I'm so happy whoever placed this ward, probably the support, is very, very nice. Very kind player. And the Neferi realizes he's basically cooked. And I just kill him. He's just dead. Bye. Debatable whether it's worth using my Flash Ignite here, but I think it probably is. Like, we get a lot here. I think maybe we even get the tier 3. It's with the Herald, yeah. I think we do. So oh, I need to re-show this because I didn't put this properly in frame. I'm just gonna show you some. So this is some Stormraider's value right here. Okay. See this? See how far I move? I kill the AD from, I don't even know, like off the screen. I can't even put it on the screen how close I was to him, and I just run him down. I don't think we get the crash here. Yeah, we do. But we get 2 inhibs. It's very, very good. I'm just gonna, oh, hold on. I don't think much happens. I'm just trying to clear the waves. It's another small thing. In skirmishes around minion waves, you just want to get rid of the wave as soon as possible. You can sometimes even avoid fighting them for a couple of seconds, just to make sure there's no minions in the way. You're not going to hit your E through a big wave, so, you know. If there was to be a fight, I would like it to be a fight where their minions are already cleared. And obviously, our minions can block some of their abilities as well. Oh. I'm mostly trying to get my team to group, because I think the enemy team is struggling so much on the map that they're just going to overgroup. It's pretty difficult to get people to group though. Yeah, Neferi, I don't know. He thinks his dogs are going to block stuff. They're not blocking anything here. It's pretty poor of him to just imagine that his dogs are going to block when he's rushing straight onto me. It's pretty much the only situation where the dogs aren't gonna block when he does that. So, bad mistake by him. We get a free. I think we get a soul for free here. Just because he made a very bad mistake. And this is the thing that Illaoi does a lot of the time. She capitalizes on the mistakes of, especially melee champions. If you're gonna make a mistake like that, Illaoi is going to be the champion you want to play. Sorry, if your opponents are going to make mistakes like that. Which is why she's stronger than low elo. That was a very diamond thing to do. Although this, I don't think he's a diamond player, but... yeah. I'm trying to convince my team to go Baron, but it's a bit hard. I think I managed to get them to go Baron here. I think maybe we see the Neferi is going bot lane. Or is around bot lane, and we just go for it. Which is you know, this is a good call from me again. It doesn't come through very well in the recording, but I am all the time pinging my team what to do. I'm just telling them what to do. Whether they listen to my pings or not depends on the team, but yeah. I tell my team not to fight here because I know that I'm on side and Zed is on side. And they can overload mid, but my team basically ignores me. I think they die for it, I'm not sure. Yeah, the Silas loses loses his life on that. But we don't lose too much from it. And I'm getting a lot by them overloading. Which is good. Yeah, that's basically the story of this game, honestly. This guy just had nothing, just got hit by every single E. What can I say? I think he dodged like 2 E's max the whole game. The Garen makes a very unwise decision here, if I remember. No, I think he gets a kill back. I can't remember. Yeah, he does. But it's definitely not worth it. Unfortunately, it's hard to crack tier 3, but I think one of their team makes a mistake at some point that allows us to do it, if I remember correctly. Maybe they position wrong or they die or something. Oh yeah, it was the Talia. The Talia goes bot lane to clear the minions, but basically that just allows us to take top. As soon as it's 3 inhibs, if we play correctly, we're gonna get the Elder Drake for free, basically. As long as we don't run in and die. So, yeah. I'd just like to talk about itemization here. There is some problem with itemizing Stormraider's Illaoi. She just, because of my setup, she doesn't get that much HP. So these items would be kind of stronger on a Grasp build. But if I went Grasp, I wouldn't have got so many kills, I wouldn't have snowballed so hard. And I wouldn't have had so many tools to use against the Garen in lane. I also would have missed a cannon earlier in the game. I literally got a cannon because of Stormraiders. You know, there's some value to Stormraiders being the point. Yeah. This is whatever. But basically just trying to keep pressure up and try not to die here, and see if we can randomly fish a pick. It's pretty hard. They're just gonna bundle up and try and survive. I recall here, which is maybe a wrong decision. It's not like the worst decision in the world, but I could have stayed. It doesn't end up mattering, I don't think, but I'm just watching my team because I'm not doing anything. Okay. I don't know what the Ezreal was doing there. You know, you just gotta let people off sometimes. It happens. It's always nice to be able to take the camps for free, which you can always do when the enemy team has 3 inhibs down. They basically can't even walk in their jungle, so that means that all of their camps are gone. Kind of how it works. See, my jungler didn't even bother counter-jungling the bot side jungle. I just went there myself. And obviously I do enough damage to kill the camps pretty quick. This was probably a bit much from us, but it's fine. If I land my E on this Aphelios, he dies. Because I will just ult, and there's just no way you can get away. But obviously he flashed it, so well played to him, I guess. We're basically just kind of waiting for Elder to spawn here, and what we can do is just put a couple of people on Elder, and use the rest of them to zone their team because they're not strong enough to fight us. So once Elder spawns, that's pretty much our plan. I actually type to do that in chat as well, so my team is paying attention. Yeah, Talista's a bit far forward here, but I'm not going to go super ham on it because my team is on Elder. Otherwise, if it was a 5v5, I would have run straight on him. And yeah, we basically just TP into the base here. Because we basically just want to hit them. Just hit them by any means. We can get anything on them. Yeah, you see I ignite him, I ult him. Just hit them, kill them. Just get near them, and they will die. Especially because we're ahead. We already have Soul, and we have Elder. So yeah. That's the game. So, a couple of things about this game. One of the important things to not do, which I did in this lane, is not to take heavy trades level 1. Obviously, the first trade is fine when I'm trading pretty evenly in HP against the Garen, but the second trade was wrong. Where I'm basically just trading 250 HP for 1 minion is a mistake. That's definitely a mistake. So don't do that. But one of the most important things to remember against Garen is this setup. The 2 tentacle setup will always let you get damage with W and especially with E. And you want to get this set up for lanes where they're going to push into you and things like that. Jax will often try and push into you early game. He has a few more tools than Garen in the early game with his E. His E is much more useful at stopping you from interacting with the wave. Basically, a lot of melee champions can fall victim to this little setup here. Probably Mordekaiser is one of the biggest ones where you can juice this. A lot of Mordekaisers just push, mindlessly push, and it is extremely bad to do that with Mordekaiser. I think probably if they froze, they would have a better time. If you push and get into this situation, this is a situation where you can actually get out traded by Illaoi early game and lose the game quite easily as Mordekaiser. But in the Garen lane, the Garen has very few tools to deal with this. He's just not a champion that has been given much to deal with Illaoi. He has a silence, but to get his silence, he has to get on top of you, and to get on top of you, he has to run into you. His whole kit is just designed to be a victim of Illaoi. Probably his main strategy is to try and survive the early game and hope that his team lets him. His team is strong enough that he can just farm side lanes for the rest of the game. If he doesn't get to do that, as you can see, he's basically just a cannon minion, which is pretty much how he was the whole game. So, yeah, I would say Stormraider is absolutely not necessary, but I think it's the strongest rune into Garen. It gives you a lot to work with. You can proc it very easily. It can make dives against Garen a bit more tenable. But Grasp is really, really good, especially if the enemy team has a lot of, like, Silas. If the enemy team has Silas, Grasp is quite good. Like Fizz. Just champions who are going to be on top of you, where you want the extra stats that Grasp gives. Grasp basically is... I would describe Grasp as like an HP equalizer rune. It basically warps trades in the favor of the player who has Grasp by giving them back some HP and taking more HP away from the opponent. But it's not necessarily in this game because the enemy team has 4 squishies and 3 of them are ranged. Stormraiders is always going to get a lot of value And you'll see, and you saw in this game that I killed the AD in one situation where he wouldn't normally have died because I had Stormraiders, and I killed the Talia, I think, in a situation where I probably wouldn't have got a kill because of Stormraiders. And Grasp would have done almost nothing in this game. I would have basically just not got those 2 kills. And had maybe slightly better trades earlier. You can use the Grasp W spam to cause problems for Garen. But I would have traded so much potential in the game to just get some better trades early and have a bit more HP. I just don't think that's worth it. So I personally would take Storm Raiders in this lane every single time, especially in this game. But yeah, there are situations where Grasp into Garen is absolutely fine. I just think that this game is probably not one of them. Anyway, that was Masters Illaoi into almost Grandmaster Garen. He does play Garen, he's not just a field player. And I personally think this lane is pretty easy. This is pretty much how it goes every time. Honestly, it sometimes goes worse for the Garen. Apparently this lane is hard, so if this helps you, I hope you get something from it. Alright, I'm out.